What? I can't hear you. Like a minute and a half. Okay. Hello again. My name is Emma. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to try to be out here as much as I can. As long as the weather permits, I will be out here. So I am just going to get started because I know I'm a slow reader and I cannot read that fast. I mean, I could read fast, but only if I'm reading in silent, then I can read fast. So I think I left off on my story. What? What?
A Spanish phone call.
Well, hang up. I don't know who it is. Was it verified?
What do you mean by that?
Was it a scam or was it verified?
It wasn't a scam. Oh, the hangs up.
Okay, I'll find it. Could you charge it back? Because it's only like on 57%. That's why I left that note on there. Where was I? Oh, yeah. The last sentence I was on, Frank, I lived down the block, and my cat had kittens. Uh-oh. I'm already, no, that wasn't the last one. Okay. Evidently, I'm going to try to, 1, 2, 3. It must have been on 4, because I don't see 4. Oh, I see 4. It's right here. Okay, I know where I left off. It says, all right, 1 down and 4 more to go. The boy shouted as he rode down the sidewalk. Okay, what happened? It was behind my other story. Okay, okay. So then, of course, I proceed. Good, you're going to stay. You're going to stay after all, exclaimed Aunt Myra. Abruptly, Cynthia turned, hanging on tight to her blue knitted sweater that her mother made for her 2 years ago. No, I didn't say that. I would really have to sit down and think about this one. You do that, dear, then you let me know. I'm going to start walking home. I smell rain coming on. Give a kiss goodbye to Anthony for me. I will, and thank you for dropping by this afternoon. Cynthia stood by the gate watching the short, stocky woman as she reached the corner and turned. Cynthia looked up, seeing the clouds closing in, the sun disappearing behind them. Holding herself snug, she shuddered a small tremble as she heard thunder overhead of her. She took a long glance at the 2 gable house with the porch and windows all intact, and climbing roses with visible life ready to bloom in this month of April. With a heavy sigh, she slowly walked to the door and walked in. As she closed the door behind her, she called out to Anthony. She searched around to see just where his little voice would come from. How quiet and still the room seemed, except for the sound of thunder rumbling in the sky. But then she realized that she was still waiting for her son's answer. She made her way to the kitchen and saw a dish of water next to chewed pieces of bologna by the fridge, but no sign of Anthony or the kitten. Maybe they were in the backyard, she thought, pushing the back screen door open again. No sign of neither one. Where can he be? She asked herself. Now, a bitter worry, she took a brisk walk back into the house and scurried her way up the staircase and into the bedroom that once was hers. With a sigh of relief, there he was, lying on the twin bed under a patch quilt cover along with his new kitten by his side. They seemed to have fallen to sleep. She leaned against the doorway, staring down at the little angel face, thinking that not having him would have been a major mistake. Heading back downstairs, everything seemed to be much more darker due to the weather. She put on some lamps at the end of each table. The lights now helped Cynthia feel comfortable and more at home. "Well, that's better," she said out loud, standing in the middle of the room with her hands at her waist. On the left of her, a row of different pictures framed stood on the mantel board above the fireplace, family photos of different occasions. She stood there steadily, staring at one photo of a school picnic. Seeing herself so young, surrounded by her classmates. Immediately, she thought of an old Foot Locker up in the attic. Making sure all doors and windows were locked, rain began falling heavily. She went back upstairs to see if Anthony was still sleeping. He was. She left the door a little ways open just in case Anthony awoke. She would be able to hear him. Across the room were two doors exactly alike, painted always the same color, blue and brown. One was a linen closet, the other the attic. The two always had her confused. Leaving the attic door wide open, she walked up the narrow, dark stairs. At the top, her hand waved up in the air, trying to reach the string that turned on the light. It was all so dusty. She knew Mother hadn't been up there for years, pushing cobwebs along the way. She never realized how much stuff was collected. So many antique tables, chairs, old paintings, and boxes of boxes filled with who knows what. Finally, after pushing boxes away from one another, there it was. Now an old dusty Foot Locker. She dusted the Foot Locker with an old rag that was lying around and took it downstairs, placing it down on the rug in front of the fireplace where she was still trying to get warm. Cynthia rubbed her hands together, hoping she wouldn't have problems opening the latch. She was surprised at how easily it opened after being up there for so long. Slowly raising the top, she saw all her familiar belongings, from souvenirs of school trips and keepsakes. Also, more photos with her friends at graduation, weddings, and one of her prom night. Weddings had time gone by that fast? She said to herself out loud. Everybody just seemed to be gone now. No last phone numbers, no last addresses. I wouldn't even know where to begin to get a hold of any of them. This one, oh, I remember this one. She picked up an 8x10 picture of Leslie's wedding, the bride and groom surrounded by bridesmaids, and there I was next to Jennifer in my low-cut blue chiffon dress, along with Tess and Julie. We were a great bunch of girls. We all stuck together through high school, college, and weddings. They all married, have their familiar, except at their Leslie's wedding, I was sure I was going to be next. I even finally caught the bouquet, but mine never came. At times, I wondered if I would ever get married. Fondling through more pictures, she went back to that one snapshot, the one Tess gave her a few days after the prom night, the one I never made it to, the night I was denied. Alan Wilkins was supposed to pick me up that evening and never came. Get caught trying to. Tess had taken her camera that night, shooting of everyone that was there. Jennifer, Leslie with their dates, and one of Alan in the background with somebody else, when it should have been me. We were all happy that group graduated and excited about the prom. So all of us girls made a pact with the guys of who was going with whom. Jennifer with David, Leslie with Warren, Tess and Gabe, and of course I was going to accompany Alan. It feels like it just happened yesterday. As Cynthia stared hard into the photo, her mind journeyed back into time. She saw herself sitting at her vanity table, pinning her hair to the side with a pink plastic flower, constantly checking the clock, waiting for Alan to beep his horn from his car at 8 o'clock. It was 7:50. She had to take one last look at herself in the long-length mirror at the door. She pulled her pink lace dress down a little towards her knees so it would fit her just right. She stood straight up and fluffed her pink see-through sleeves and instantly thought of her last touch, which were her new high heel shoes. She took them out of the box that were still wrapped in tissue and slipped them on. And that was it. She looked perfect. Thereafter, she ran downstairs yelling for her mother. She came out from the swinging door in the kitchen with a dish towel wrapped around her hands, drying them. She then gave a spin around and said, well, waiting for her mother's remark, Cynthia, you look wonderful. Now don't forget, I don't want you home no later than 12:30. Cynthia waved her right hand down in the air as she turned towards the window to see if Alan was on his way, then said, I know. No sign of him yet? Questioned her mother. Cynthia shook her head by the window. Well, when he does, let me know before you leave, she shouted as she went back towards in the kitchen. Still staring anxiously into the street, she saw Gabe's auto coming down the road instead, with Tess sitting in the passenger seat. As they approached to a halt in front of the house, Tess also questioned about Alan's arrival. He hasn't come yet? Cynthia now halfway out of the window. It's 5 past the hour. He should have been here by now. Yeah, he's probably on his way. We'll see you guys when you get there. Tess turned and set her eyes on Gabe. Do you think he'll be here? Do you think he'll be there to pick her up? I don't see why not. He said he was to me and to the guys last night. Let's go to the hall and see who's there. Should have been a gym, right? I don't know. That's what I put. I don't know why I put a hall. So far, he put his foot on the pedal and took off. They drove slowly into the school. Yeah, I should have, right. The school yard grounds. Boys, the parking. Oh, I'm being bitten. They drove slowly into the schoolyard grounds. Boy, the parking lot is jammed. I don't know if we're going to find a space to park in, said Tess. Gabe was driving in and out of lanes, still trying to find a spot. There's one, right behind the red car, Tess proclaimed. Rolling up the windows, locking doors, they both got out, meeting each other at the end tail of the car. Wait, give me the keys. I forgot the camera. Tess rushed back to fetch it. After locking the door again, she yelled, hey, think fast, and threw the keys at Gabe, hoping he wouldn't miss. Gabe fumbled a little bit with the keys, but eventually had a good grip on them. Come on, you. Their hands now clenched tightly together, they walked towards the school hall doors. They were in the midst of cool, colorful lights, contemporary music, and voices of gaiety all around. This is great. I got to take pictures of this. Tess's hands were exactly clicking away. Gabe stood there for a second in his nicely pressed blue suit and matching tie, amused with how happy Tess was. Go ahead, I'll get us something to drink. Putting his keys in his pocket, he reached up his right hand to wipe his forehead. Gee, I haven't even danced yet and I'm already sweating. Tess, still shooting away, caught a shot of Alan dancing with someone in the middle of the dance floor. Lowering her camera down slowly, she was mystified by what she saw. Dismayed at the same time, she abruptly walked up to Alan. What are you doing here? And who is this? Which questions do you want me to answer first? Alan said sarcastically. You're a jerk. You knew you were supposed to bring Cynthia. Tess, you knew you were supposed to bring Cynthia. Tess lashed out in anger. Gabe from far away couldn't help but hear Tess's outburst from a distance. While waiting for Cynthia's drinks at the table, Gabe took the drinks from the attendant and rushed back to see what was going on. She's sitting at home waiting for you to pick her up, yelling out still in a scornful tone. The newfound date of Alan stood there frozen and stunned. Brave enough, though, she asked Alan, who's Cynthia? Nobody, I'll take care of this. Nobody, shouted Tess, now more severe. You brute, how can you do this to her? Pointing his index fingers to him with the drink still in his hands, Gabe said, Hey, Alan, you're here. Tess, still upset, threw in, Oh, yeah, he's here, all right. But does that look like Cynthia to you? What's up, Alan? You were supposed to. Alan jumped in and immediately cut Gabe off. Yeah, well, I decided to bring someone else, all right? Fine, but you could at least call to warn her. Alan grabbed his date by the arm and walked away at the same time, saying, Yeah, well, I forgot. Tess turned to Gabe and said, Can you believe this? Let's go. We have to go back and tell Cynthia. But we just got here. Let's go. So, I'll stop there. I should put a mark in there because I know time slips away. But we'll find out what she tells, what Cynthia's up to when she gets there to see her, right? Yeah, so again, like I said, it's been 25 years since I wrote this. And I'll keep going. I haven't had a chance to sit down and do some more writing like I wanted to because I'm busy. I think a bug just filling my tea. I got him out. I was just thinking of that movie Overboard where Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn was in the back of a truck, and remember she was a rich lady, and Kurt Russell, I think was his name, he was like the carpenter, and she was in the back, and she goes, oh, I think I swallowed a bug. Well, one fell in my tea. Anyway, that was a good movie, by the way. I could watch that one forever. I just love it. So I was, trying to get a hold of everything that's coming up, and trying to find. I was trying to find some fall items, and I was only able to find a few, maybe some boards that I hung up, and then I decided, okay, well, I'm not really going to be able to do hardly any fall theme on my table with my doll until I go to either Dollar Tree or Walmart and see what I could find. So I had to postpone that. But then I did jump into Halloween, and as you know, Halloween is only here for one day. You can stretch out Easter, you can stretch out Christmas, you can even stretch out a wedding, but when it comes to simple days like Valentine's Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, you might be able to stretch it out if you can. But when it comes to those simple holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day, you only got one shot and one shot only, and that's it. It's over. It's done. And then you got to wait until next year. So I started doing that, and I had this idea about a silhouette cat, and I've been talking about that for a while, and how I was trying to find an image online, and how I was going to print it out and then cut it, and or putting it on styrofoam foam. But I said, but that's all going to take too much time, and I went to Walmart and there was no styrofoam. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to use. But then I saw these white and black panels that were like just boards. And I said, perfect. And I saw the black one, and I said, better even still. So I grabbed the black board. I came home, and then I found this cat that my granddaughter had. And what I did, I cut the board in half. I traced the cat, made it into a silhouette just the way that I wanted, and it was awesome because it was the perfect size. And then I cut it out. First I used a knife, and then I used an X-Acto knife to be able to punch the whole thing out without bending it. So that came out perfectly. And then I was like, but it was facing not the way that I wanted. And I realized that, oh wow, the back was the mirror image, the perfect way that I wanted the image to look like. So I was really happy with that. And then I thought about some other ideas. I didn't want to leave the cat just black, so I ended up embellishing it. And this is how it came out, guys. This is it. So what I did here, I did cut it out, and it was like, this is like the perfect size. This is the exact size that I wanted. And I knew I wasn't going to get this size trying to print it on a printer. It just wasn't going to happen. It was going to be too small. Thank God we still had that cat. It was a stuffed Siamese cat. I'll show you sometime. It's a beautiful cat. It looks real, but it isn't. And I traced it. I cut it out. And although I did want the cat to be more black, I'm like, this is fine. This is fine. So I ended up I had to paint the edges black because inside was white, because this is also styrofoam, but it's like a board. And then of course I put the beads or the pearls or whatever from Dollar Tree. And then I put little stickers. Again, the little bags were the little haunted house was from a Dollar Tree treat bags. And then of course, and this part too, the little moon with the witch. And then the other ones on the side were just stickers that I had bought this year. And yeah, voila. The only thing that I'm gonna be missing, which I'm gonna not like, is the cauldron. I don't have a cauldron. I had a cauldron last year, and I was trying to make it a mission to fill it all the way up to the top. But that baby was humongous, and I never made it. Never made it. I tried though. Oh man, did I try. And finally, I guess I put too many things on it, and it just broke, and I just threw it out. Maybe I'll find a smaller cauldron this year, a medium-sized one. But mostly I usually just bought candy for the family, because around this area, you don't get that many trick-or-treaters. And then with COVID that came around and everything like that, it was just, it really just didn't happen. Everybody were going off to parties and stuff like that. But yeah, so happy I made my cat. My cat is ready to go. I'm just gonna put her aside and wait until Halloween comes. And like I said, I'm just thinking about doing other crafts for Halloween as well. But for the most part, I really wanted to get the silhouette black cat done. I did, and I feel like victory. Dun, 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 dun. I did it. But so that's kind of like where I'm at with the book and with crafts. Still trying to get into the swings of things. I even have, like, I don't know, should I make a raven bird or whatever, or a crow, and have it on the opposite side? I don't know. My mind is just going woo, woo, woo. But yeah. Okay, guys. So I don't know how long I've been out here, but I gotta get back in. I got a lot of things that I have to do still. Still trying to look for some earrings. I didn't make them, but I bought them, I think it was last year, and they were a web. They were kind of like web earrings, and another pair that I bought. And I know I have them. I have to look for them, because I don't like looking for things at the last minute. At least that's what I'm trying not to do this year. Because last year I tried, and I couldn't find half of the stuff I wanted, and I just ended up getting aggravated. So I'm trying not to do that this year. Okay, guys, so like a fish in the sea. So glad you caught me, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.